Hello, level 1 jazz dancers. This is your very first jazz skill you are going to learn. Actually, you're going to learn 2 new jazz skills. Originally, when I made these videos back in the spring quarter, these 2 skills I did as skills that I wanted dancers to watch and learn, but they didn't have to send me back videos. Well, that didn't work out very well. So this quarter, what I want to happen is I'm going to make this video again, and you're going to send me back the version of it with the combination, and I'll tell you that again once we get to that. But we're learning how to dance and walk and move as a jazz dancer. So these are probably 2 of the most simple skills you could do. So these are your pre-skills. You have in 1 and 2 that you also have skills 1 and 2, but this is going to be a pre-skill because the other ones are already numbered and I can't take those numbers out. So very first one we're going to do is called the jazz walk. Now there's several ways you can do a jazz walk. So in this first jazz walk we're going to style it after what's called a pick walk or a Vegas walk. I'm going to do it with very simple arms, but as you get used to it, you can add things to it. You can add shoulders, 1 shoulder, you can add your head, you can add a little snap of the fingers or whatever it is. So you want to start to find your style as a jazz dancer. Jazz is known to be cool and sassy, and so those are kind of some feelings that you want to have while you are jazz dancing. Now, if I was in the classroom, I'd really encourage you guys to dance as big as you can, make the movement as big as you can, put as much effort and energy into it. Obviously, you're just watching the video, so I can't give you that feedback. I will give you feedback though on your videos. So once you send me in your videos, I will then be giving you notes to work on and practice as we go throughout the quarter. So find that inner sassy, cool jazz dancer. So again, the very first step we're going to do, I'm going to actually teach it with my back to you so it's easier to follow. And I'm going to do it this way just to start, just to do a slow demonstration. But when I actually do it with some music, I'm going to do it from this corner to that corner. Now I have a small space to dance in. Maybe yours is smaller, maybe it's bigger. You can do it more times than I'm doing it or less if you need to, but try to fit in as many as you can. So first image you want to have is nice, kind of rolled back shoulders, soft fingertips where they kind of drip down to the floor. I'm going to pull my elbows backwards a little bit. This is almost what's called a Fosse style arm. Bob Fosse was a famous choreographer, jazz dancer. He had his own style of jazz. So we're going to pull those shoulders back. And again, later on, maybe you add a shoulder, maybe add a head, maybe add a snap. My heels are going to lift off the ground. I'm going to keep my knees bent, but my heels are going to come off, kind of like I'm wearing a pair of high heels, and I'm going to bend my knees. So when you take your steps, you're actually stepping on the balls of your feet as you step across the floor. So heels are not down, they are up. I don't change levels, so you want to act like you're going to skim across the floor. Now this is hard to do in slow motion. I'm going to do my best. It's probably going to be pretty wobbly because I want you to stay on the balls of your feet. And the pick walk comes in because your leg picks up the side and steps out. And typically you're going to start with the leg of the direction you're going to. So if I'm going to the right, I'm going to pick up and step right, and I'm going to be on the, up on that little demi point there, bent knee. Pick up the left leg, step across, and out. Step across, and out. Step across. I tend to start to add a little hip in there, so kind of like I'm leading with that hip. If I go back the other way, same thing. I'm going to start here, I'm going to start with my heel down just so I have some balance to start. But know that that left leg's going to pick up and step out and gives it that pick walk. So I'm going to step on the left, right, left, right, left, right. So faster, obviously easier because you don't have to balance. But you want to make it as slow or as glidey as possible. So you want to make sure it doesn't bounce as you go along. That doesn't look quite as cool, but you want to think low and long, low, 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 low to the floor. So I'm going to do it with some music. I'm going to start from this corner, start with my right foot. I'm going to give you a 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, you're going to step out on that. I'm going to travel down to this corner, and then I'll come back up to this corner and do the same thing. And I'll start with my left foot on this side just so I can fit in a few more. So this is a jazz walk, and in particular something called a pick walk. Again, you can stylize it however you want. So if you think you got it down, it doesn't have to look exactly like mine. Legs should look pretty much the same, but upper body, you can add some excitement or flair in there. So here we go. This is your jazz walk. Start with my right foot first. 5, 6, 7, 8.
I can't believe I love that they say left to
We're in a
right.
dance studio. We're going across the
Like, ooh, she said,
across
I just tell them cut me up and keep
5, 6, 7, 8.
call us dirty 'cause we break all your rules now. You just came to act
And do it one more time.
alright.
First time, I'm gonna add a shoulder on this side.
Let's
Second time, I'm gonna add a snap.
but we eat
5, 6, 7, 8. Those jazz walks. If we were in the dance studio, we'd go in lines of 3 all the way across the floor, practicing that balancing on the balls of the feet, practice adding the sassiness to your movement as well too. So try that at home as much as you can. A fun way I think to do it is if you have a long hallway, is to do it down the hallway. And that might be harder to film, but you can certainly practice that and then do it in a smaller space. I don't really have hallways in this house because I have a very tall house, so I really just have this space to dance in. But hallways are great for practicing that. And this next step as well too, which is called a jazz drag. So I'm just showing you short clips of these, me dancing them, me teaching them. Again, if we're in the studio, we do this several times. So that's one of your jobs as a dancer in this class, is just to practice as much as you can. And that's what's gonna make you a better dancer and more exciting dancer. So this next one is your jazz drag. Now I'm gonna start the same way as the other one. I'm gonna step out with my right foot first. I will be adding some arms. These are your typical jazz drag arms, but you don't have to do these every single time. You can make a variety of jazz drag arms, and you'll notice this in your first classic jazz combo as well too that you do, that you will be doing a different style of arms than you are learning right now. So I'm just gonna do my feet first. So I'm gonna step out on my right foot, 1. My left foot's gonna drag on the side of the foot, so I'm in parallel. I've pushed out as far as I can into that hip. So rather than a straight hip, you're gonna drag, push into that hip, that kind of drags that foot, and then the foot steps across. And then steps out, drags, step across. This may sound like fit in too, unfortunately. So I'm gonna try going to the other way. These are just my legs again. So I'm stepping out on the left leg, dragging the right leg in this case. Step across, drag, step across. Now, we're gonna add some arms to it. You can also add your focus as well too. So arms first. Step out with my right leg. My right arm's gonna make a big circle around, excuse me, and through, around and through. My left arm is gonna drag, kind of like the legs dragging. It's gonna drag out to the side. So I'm gonna step out, drag, step across, drag, step across. And so there's kind of a linger to it. When you think of a jazz walk, you want those legs to pick up and be very sharp. In the jazz drag, maybe my first step is sharp, but the second leg is kind of smooth as it steps across. So on the left side, it's gonna be my left arm that circles around. My right arm goes out to the side. So I'm gonna step to the side, drag, step across, drag, step across. So if you're getting that down, which again, you hopefully practice that more than just the couple times you just did with me right here, your head can do 2 different things. You can either watch your arm and go around, and watch your arm and go around, or I can look away and back, away and back. And it may depend on how, what music you're dancing to, how you're feeling that movement. Both versions are acceptable. There's nothing wrong with either one. So again, with that head, I can either look towards and around, towards and around, or away and back, away and back. All right, so just as I did with the jazz walk, I'm gonna start from the corner. I'm gonna give you 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm gonna go from this corner to that corner, and then I'll do the same thing over here. On this side, I start with my right foot. That foot, I'll start with my left foot. Here we go with some music.
I just tell you, 6, 7, 8.
You're gonna go.
Life is just a play with no rehearsal. I wonder will this be my final life tonight?
And the other way.
A
5,
with my
6,
7,
8. Here we go.
forget with my free. I agree. Forget don't
Again, but I'm gonna go a little faster. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So basically
you
double
save my
time.
soul
You're
from
taking a step on each one of those counts.
Say, is it
Here
weird
we
to
go,
like the
right
way
foot.
she wear her
5,
tights?
6, 7, 8.
Is it rude to wear my shades? Am I a freak because I love watching Mary?
And left foot.
Sister, am I good enough for your river? Your God accept me in my
All right, so after you practice those several times, please do them several times. Start to find your own sassy flair to dance to. And again, not again, because this is probably the first video you're watching. Also, I've said this in several other videos. Feel free to change the song. If you have a song that you'd rather dance to that. As long as you know how to count that music and dance on the music. So obviously with me and my videos, you can follow what I'm doing and I'm following that music. But if you have another song you'd like to dance to, feel free to do that. All right, so this last time we're gonna do a mini combination. So this is what I want you to send back to me. Please practice all that other material, but send this back to me. And I want you to do right side, left side, right side, left side. And they can go straight across as well too. If you've got somebody to film you and they can film you across, you've got a big space to do it, that's fine. I'm going on the diagonal because it just gives me a tiny bit more room. But I'm probably gonna have to make it kind of small just to make sure it fits in this space. So make this as big as you can, even though mine might look very small. So I'm gonna cram way up into this corner here. And I'm gonna step out on my jazz drag on the 1, step across 2, 3, step across 4, and then I'm gonna jazz walk 5, 6, 7, 8. So you're gonna go from a smooth dragging leg, 1, 2, 3, 4, to very sharp picked up legs into those jazz walks. And my arms, here's my arms. My arms would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, if we're in the studio, again, we probably get to do that maybe 4 times like that across the floor, which means you really get to practice. Well, this is my symbol for coordination. Get to know it well because you'll see me do this a lot. It's going to be, you practice the coordination of the arms with your legs. So your legs are going smooth, smooth, sharp, 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 sharp. I'm going to do the left side. 2, 3, 4, sharp, 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 sharp. 1, 2, 3, 4, sharp, 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 sharp. So from this corner, my left leg would go out. 1, 2, 3, 4, sharp, 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 sharp. So I'm gonna do that side one more time. And again, not very much space in here. So you may have lots more space to practice it or less, so do what you can. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so we're gonna try that with some music. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a set from this corner with my right foot, set from that corner with my left foot, and then I'm actually gonna make a little box around myself, which you could certainly try that too, but that just means that I can hopefully fit in more and connect them together. So I'm gonna try that as well too. Here we go. 5, 6, 7, 8. Maybe that one more time. They're really tiny. I wish I could dance with you. Here we go. your turn. This is more of a right angle. 5, 6, 7, 8. 7, 8. We're gonna go back to the left so you can practice that as well too. That might be another option for you to try. If you don't have a lot of space, just make a little circle or square around yourself.
Yeah.
Left leg. 5,
Yeah, let's flip it.
7, 8.
I don't think they understand what I'm trying to say. Yeah. I asked a question like this. Are we a lost generation of our people? Add us to equations, but they'll never make us equal. She who writes the movie on the script in the sequel. So why ain't the ceiling on my rights made illegal? They keep us on the ground working hard.
Alright, that is your jazz walk and jazz drag. Enjoy.